Now, to better gear up our understanding, here are 4 things that a crisis does. Number 1, crisis reveals our strengths and weaknesses. If we are not aware of what we can do and cannot do, this will be exposed during crisis. If we are not aware of where we excel at and where we are not so good at, crisis will reveal this to us. So we must pay attention. For me personally, one of my strengths is being able to adapt with changes in technology and acquaint myself with online tools. One of my weaknesses, however, is the absence of an autopilot system that can run even without my personal intervention every step of the way. Now, in these times, we are forced to shift our business online. And these kinds of strengths and weaknesses are revealed. So my question is, are you paying attention? Number 2, crisis shows what we must stop doing, what we must start doing, and continue doing. On a yearly basis, at least, we must do a review, an evaluation on a personal and organizational level. And we need to ask 3 important questions. That is, what should we stop doing? What should we start doing? And what should we continue doing? If you're not doing this, right, evaluation or review on a personal and organizational basis or level, crisis will force us to answer these, and we must respond accordingly. Now, during this pandemic, it was shown to us that we must stop our sole reliance on traditional setups of businesses. For example, brick and mortar stores, while they are generally good to have, with the community quarantine in place, customers are not going to stores anymore. At least not as much. Good thing, travel restrictions are now easing up. But still, we must start to explore and use several other means to reach our customers. These days, online shopping and the use of websites and apps have taken traction. But take note that these are not new. Hindi bago. We were simply forced to catch up somehow. Now, even the government had to catch up and see how business permits, for instance, could be transacted online. Now, along with these, we see the importance of continuing to take advantage of social media. For example, Facebook and LinkedIn, to help in marketing our goods and services. We see that these platforms can even help us sell our products and even do customer care. So the questions now are, what should you stop doing? What should you start doing? And what should you continue doing? Number 3, crisis magnifies our status. This pandemic magnified who are poor and who are rich. The difference between those who can afford and cannot afford is amplified, sadly. The sad tendency here is to blame the system and even sulk on our sad situation. But that's going to lead us to a downward spiral. So let us not do that. We should respond otherwise. We see this reality and then we must take responsibility. Please note that this reality should even push us to persevere in doing what we can to improve our lives, to improve our businesses, to become better at work, and to help others. So what's your status now that you can see more clearly? And from that, what is your response to the situation? Number 4 that crisis does to us, crisis exposes our core. Take, for example, an orange. When you squeeze an orange, you get an orange. When you squeeze a lemon, you get a lemon. You do not get an apple. You do not get a watermelon, right? Now, when you are squeezed or challenged, your core is exposed. Yes, your character, your beliefs, your attitude, your values are shown. If you do not like what is being exposed, then it's time to make a change. Again, this is on a personal and organizational level. If you don't see what you're seeing now in your organization, it's time to make a change. But if you like what is being exposed, then that means you're doing a good job. Persevere, keep it up, and push even more, even how difficult things may be in the days to come. So, note that if we stick to our core, to our values, and I say good values, right? We believe that we will win in the long term. We'll win in the long term. So the question now is, do you know your values? And from that, or to help you do that, review what you are prioritizing and examine how you are responding to this crisis. So again, the 4 things that crisis does. Crisis reveals our strengths and weaknesses. Crisis shows what we must stop doing, start doing, and continue doing. Crisis magnifies our status, and crisis exposes our core. The next question is, how do we cope? And not just cope, but take command amidst crisis.